Temperatures are rising, but so do the charity numbers. We also spotted the first ninja giraffe in the world, and our special guest is a long-standing member of the furry community, an adorable plush fox that is mostly active behind the curtains, our Pups. But first, the charity numbers. Earlier this year, our Japanese fuzzy friends have raised $32,331.45 for the Toyohashi Zoo and Botanical Park during Japan Meeting of Furries. Every year, several French furry streamers come together to raise money for charity during Fluff events. And this year, they have raised $116,619 for Association Petite Princesse. They strive for a society where everybody is free to express themselves regardless of their gender. Willow, not just the voice of Mitzi May in the excellent animation series Lackadaisy, but being an excellent help behind the scene of Iron Circus, the company responsible for said series. But unfortunately, Willow is battling cancer and life is not allowing them a break. However, the Fandom came together and raised $5,971 so far. Galactic Furcamp is a unique furry event of 3 days where 607 lovely furries danced their hearts away, had fun with friends, enjoyed furry panels and other things. What makes this so special, you would say, and unique? Well, this all happened on board on the USS Hornet, a retired American aircraft carrier which served in World War II. Today it is the centerpiece of the USS Hornet Museum in San Francisco, and Galactic Furcamp raised $25,000 for them. $27,943 of our virtual friendos from Furality are responsible for the biggest one-time amount Resilient Heart has ever received, $116,121. Yes, the number is higher than on screen, as people kept on donating after the initial announcement. You can hear their voices breaking from the pure adrenaline.
For Resilient Hearts Animal Sanctuary.
Yes!
Oh, truly riveting stuff. Back in Meat Space, we have Furcamp Michigan, where 170 nature-minded beings raised $3,246.79 for the Skagemok Raptor Center, supporting their hard work for these majestic birds. And in Germany, the fuzzy critters from Furvaria raised $3,595.82 for their charity partner Tierheim Hamlar und Tierschutzverein Donauwurf, an animal shelter that serves 2 districts, providing veterinary care, offering forever homes to animals that are unable to find a place somewhere else, community outreach programs, and they do so much more. And meanwhile, on the other side of the world, in Singapore, we have a little Island FurCon, where they raised $4,650.98 for Mercy Light Animal Rescue and Sanctuary Limited. Most of these funds were raised during their raffle and direct donations. Within the British community, Neutron was a major contributor who worked on quite a number of events. Unfortunately, he left this world last year, but the community is remembering him in the best way possible by raising money in his name with the Neutron Pupwalk. They have raised $2,055.34 for the LGBT Foundation in his loving memory. Meanwhile, our Argentinian furry friends have raised $8,184 for Refugio Feliz, an organization that has been around for over 30 years, dedicated to rescue, care and adoption of our furry companions. Back in the USA, our friends from Texas Fur Fiesta have raised $4,228 for the Society of Play, so they can support the game dev community by creating inspiring spaces and give everybody a chance to thrive and give them a fair shot as a game developer. Fun little fact, now with the World Cup going on, their hotel was loaded with football fans. While initially the people were a little bit wary, they ended up loving it. In Malaysia, 236 good beans have raised $2,461.47 for the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, Kita Kinabalu, also known as the SPCA KK. A staple of the Dutch Comic Con is the Meats for You stand in the Fandom area. What started as a moment for a group photo ended up as the biggest fandom stand around, with refreshments, a place to cool down and to socialize amongst the chaos of a usual Comic Con. To make this all possible, people donate through empty cans, direct donations or buying merchandise, and this year Meats for You raised a record-shattering $954.53. It's no secret that the furries run the internet, but until this day we don't have our own top-level domain. Back in the early days they were mostly reserved for countries and organization identifiers. Think of .nl for the Netherlands, .be for Belgium, and so on. However, since 2012 a whole bunch of new ways were added, like .social, .engineering, but also .dog. The furry non-profit hackerspace Paw Print Prototyping is working hard to make .furry a reality. At the time of recording, they are at 95% of the amount needed, with a little more than a month to go. The funds will be used, in addition to all of this, to fund furry and LGBTQIA+ spaces and their ongoing educational mission for their non-profit hackerspace and future development focused on digital sovereignty within the furry community. And I think that last one, as someone from the IT sector myself, is really needed. Did you know that with all these charities, fundraisers and other wholesome events, the furry fandom has raised over $1.2 million worldwide this year alone, with several events like Furality Ultra and Fluff events breaking the $100,000 raised in one go. And the convention season has barely started yet. I am stoked to see it shatter last year's record of $2,199,658.48. Of course, I will list all the data in the Furry Charity Index at the end of the year on my channel here on YouTube. Plenty of people who are way smarter than this meerkat explained climate change. It's a thing, it's man-made, and it has impact on us all. Plenty of people around the world are taking action, from personal level to entire countries or coalitions. While we still have a long journey ahead, this show is called Digging Up Positivity. From Europe to China, from China to South America, people woke up and started to work on green initiatives. And now it is official. The worst case scenario is off the table. We are heading in the right direction. The current projection, 2.1 to 3.7 degrees global warming, will still have plenty of nasty effects that will need dire work, but together we can work for a better future. And I'm glad to say that we are starting to see results. When you have animals on your ranch, sometimes they go missing. Some animals are easily overlooked, or they possess excellent ninja skills. One of them is Gracie. Gracie broke out of a Texas ranch where she lived. It took over 2 weeks to find her again. Gracie is a giraffe. Now, to my knowledge, then again I'm just a mere cat, Giraffes are not known for their stealth roles or hiding abilities. Fortunately, after she was spotted on multiple game cameras and on aerial surveillance footage, she was found about 4 miles from her ranch. She is expected to rejoin her fellow giraffes at the ranch soon, but they're going to ensure she can't get out again. They thought the steep rocks were enough to keep the giraffes at bay, but Gracie was no ordinary giraffe, and maybe she will learn her flock a thing or two. Every actor knows if you die on stage, you stay dead, no matter what happens. You don't move. And last month in Turkey, a stage actor found himself tested during a Romeo and Juliet unlike no other. In Act 3 of this play, where this ballet is based on, Romeo declares, "Heaven is where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse and every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her." And the actor took this to heart. Well, the cat on that location thought otherwise, and while at first he just sat next to Romeo, he begins biting and scratching the poor performer's head. But the actor did not flinch one bit. Juliet tried to improvise a little by dragging him away from the cat, and eventually our feline friend jumped on the table and proceeded with undoubtedly more important things, leaving the audience with a rather unique rendition of this very play. He did make a little appearance at the final bow though. After all, he's a cat. The people behind Puss in Boots 2 are at it again, this time with Forgotten Island. This animation starts off in the Filipinos, where a young couple is celebrating their last night together before one of them is going to America to study. But the night does not go as planned and they both get isekai'd to a strange island. Besides a very recognizable style from this animation studio, I found myself quite intrigued with the numbers of references to the Filipino culture, like the jeepneys, which are richly decorated trucks that are a staple of Filipino culture. The roots of these are the military jeeps left behind after World War II, repurposed into colorful means of public transportation. Flop Guy made a small video which goes deeper into these references. Go check it out! After this video, of course. Cartoon Saloon, established in 1999, is an Irish animation studio that really made a splash with me with wolf walkers. And they are making a spin-off series, Mebh and the Wolf Pups. It is due to premiere at the Cartoon Forum Festival in September. It's pointed towards a younger audience, where Mebh, the young wolf walker we know from the original movie, is venturing into the forest with her pack of 4 young pups, with each a different personality. Most likely they will solve all sorts of puzzles and have adventures with a message for the wee ones. This month, for Digging Up Positivity, we are talking with one of the OGs in the fandom, who has been going there for a long time, but this little foxy is very active behind the scenes, making sure that a lot of people are having a lot of fun. And these people do deserve their little time in the limelight as well. Welcome, Arapuff.
Hello, hello! It's good to be here. Hi!
Hello! So, Aura, you're active behind the curtain, so not many people might know you, but they might know of your work. So please, do tell a little bit about yourself.
Hi! So I'm Arapuff. I do video editing, and I'm an aspiring video producer and director.
So, what kind of videos do you produce, by all means?
So with producing, primarily I do editing right now. For Halloween, I like to make just some home videos. Nothing that big, but I do love to create, and it's something I want to pursue more. Currently, though, I primarily do video editing. I do some freelance work on the side, so there are videos within the fandom that I do just kind of lend a helping hand with. I started editing originally as part of an online charity group called Vinesauce's Hope. This was back in 2018, which later rebranded to a company called Variety is Hope. And at the time, it was run by Hootie Owl, the fantastic Hootie Owl. And just for a fun charity fact, we did, at the end of the charity cycle, we raised a grand total of $1.2 million, which I love to shout out. And this was for a Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation. So all the love to Hootie Owl, and also when working with this charity, I got to meet some in-fandom friends, such as 8-Bit Beetle, the artist, and my friend Peer Deer, who helped with editing as well. And that's how I got started with video editing. And everyone there was fantastic, and it was my intro to working with charities and really working behind the scenes. After that, I started working on some freelance stuff on the side, helping with these projects. Such as I like helping Wolf Pup TK in his Furs for Life charity, which I love. I've done a little bit of promo work with that. I've also worked with the wonderful Adler the Eagle on some of his videos on his channel, as well as his Flappy New Year event. So I've done a little bit of promo there. I'd love to do more. Wink. Pretty much every year, I like to pitch in where I can. And that, of course, includes the annual Pi Day video with Gale Frostbane and Tilt Longtail, which I'm not on camera for a lot of them, but I'm helping film, I'm helping edit these together, and so I'm always there having fun.
Well, speaking of pie throwing videos and everything, that's how we met, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
I saw you for the first time next to Gino Duck, who has been on the show previously, and you were one of the people that made everything possible behind the stage. How I got smothered with pie on stage. But do tell, how did that all happen? How did that all start? Because this is not something you wake up and you decide to do this.
All too true. I originally met Duino back in 2014, 2015, and needless to say, I was enamored with his antics and his very toony demeanor, which is, of course, is one of my favorites. And I just love a bully duck. I can't help it. I find them charming. We started dating in 2016, and I moved up to be a part of his life. So, and so I moved across the country to be closer to him, and from there the rest is just toony, goofy history. He of course is the pie throwing aficionado, the mess maker of all messes. And funny enough, I don't get messy. I actually I'm kind of like a clean-ophobe, so I have to I have to be clean all the time. I don't take messes because it's just I have to keep everything clean. So he causes the mess, and then when the cameras are off, I come by with my little Swiffer broom and I clean everything up. So it kind of works out. We make a good balance in all of the chaos.
Well, you know what they say, opposites attract.
Exactly.
However, on Nordic FurCon, instead of a duck, there was a skunk next to me. Did you had a hand in that as well?
Oh, absolutely. I helped manage the skunk. I got him all dressed up for his big show. I provided him all the pies he could ever wish for. I heard some of them got used. But yeah, I love being behind the stage. I love helping and kind of making sure everyone gets their time in the limelight, and because that's something that's really important for me. And I love to help, and I love to see what comes out of it.
Oh, but this entire road with all these wonderful videos that you do and the people that you help and the impact that you make behind the scenes, it had a start, of course. How did you find this wacky little outfit that is called the Fandom? So
I found the Fandom kind of by pure chance, as it would be. I was very young at the time, just a little kid. I was only 15 at the time, and I was Googling some things about Star Fox because I thought, like, well, Fox McCloud's cool, because I thought it was awesome. And I had Googled something, and one of the results was, I just put the word fox, because Star Fox, and one of the results was a GeoCity pages about a fox. And I was like, I wonder if this has what I'm looking for. And I stumbled into it, and it was a homepage for the fursuiter named Arrow Fox, who's been in the fandom many, many years before I had even heard of it. I'm pretty sure he goes back to the 90s.
I mean, you're talking about GeoCities, okay? That already timestamps you for at least 20 years in the fandom. Because, my gosh,
okay,
I mean, what's next? Angel Fire? Oh, did you have a live journal as well? Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what? Fair. So, yeah, I found his GeoCity page, and it was basically just a photo collage of him in his fursuit, in front of his house, like in his garden, in his living room, just out and about. And young me had never seen something like this, experienced something like this, and I'm flabbergasted. Like, what is this? Like, I'm confused. And going to school, the following week, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I'm like, what is this? And on his page at the very bottom was the little email link, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna send him an email, and I just asked him, hey, what are you? What is this? Like, what's going on? I don't understand, but I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm very fortunate he replied and explained the fandom in full, and he kind of showed me the ropes when I didn't really have any ropes to go by. So he taught me everything that I know, pretty much.
I am so incredibly thankful that he did. Because this is one thing that I see with a lot of people. Like, it's the first impression. And you only get one chance on the first impression. And I'm so happy that he did. Because right now you're inspiring others. And I am inspiring others. And that first contact is so important.
Absolutely. And I will never forget. I can't ever forget that moment. Because I just seeing the length of what he replied, and just it literally and figuratively just opened a whole new world for me. And it was it was one of welcome. It was something inviting, and from there, I mean, the rest is history. Like, and that's something I always hold in me is, if someone, because I've been approached numerous times by people, they have like just a regular icon, no animals, no furry, and they're just like, hey, what's this? And I treat every one of them like I'm talking to myself when I was a kid, of saying, hey, let you know, it's this fandom. If you want to join, here's where to start. Here's how to get in. Here's what you need to know. Have fun. And I always take that to heart.
And that really comes to another point as well, because you were then just this new little fox dog that was new to the fandom, and you're introducing others. So that kind of leads me to a question. What do you recommend to new people in the fandom?
One of the things that I would kind of recommend kind of ties into a lot of the video editing that I do, and it kind of circling back to that, because when it comes to editing, I learned something about myself, including the fandom as a whole, where, you see kind of through a certain lens, but you have the ability to kind of go in and shape it the way that you want to. And when starting the fandom, because I started when I was young, and I wasn't prepared to start in the fandom because I was way too young. I didn't know, I needed more experience before jumping in, and I jumped in advance, and it was actually very tough as a result, because I didn't come in with friends. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. And it was actually very difficult. And a lot of it stemmed from the fact that I was, searching for what was right for me. I was like looking for the hangout group. I was looking for the answers. And over time, I grew, I grew my profession. I grew my preferences for just what I want to do and what I want to be. And I learned editing videos. And I kind of crossed those thought processes in the fact that because I remember editing one time, and I thought about what I want in the fandom. And it's like, you have all the pieces, kind of make your own shape out of them now. Mm-hmm. And if you can't find your niche, you can make one. Because I didn't really have a lot at the beginning, and then I learned like a lot of it kind of plays into the be the change you want to see, but just with a little different twist to it, I think. But that's how I perceive it. Just kind of go into it and knowing, everything is here, and buddy, if you're looking for something and you're not finding it, there's so much room to make something out of it and make it your own and have people come to you.
That is one thing that a lot of people tend to forget, because the fandom these days is that big, but even then, every day there are like new niches to be found, and people started their own little subsection of the fandom with subjects like with No Tomorrow. At one point, you see new things popping up all the time and new groups being formed, and this is perfect. If you can't find a group, make your own.
Yeah. I was, of course, very, very fortunate in, all the friends I made along the way, and the countless people who have helped me, find my place and everything. And the lesson I take from everyone's support over the years has been, be yourself and shout what you love the most and own it. Like, because when you're in the fandom, you're not just like a part of something, like you are it in a way. It is yours to control, to shape how you want it, and what you do with it will affect people in the future, because people are going to find you. Like, I found someone through their old GeoCities webpage, and there's going to be people who find the fandom because of me, because of something I post somewhere, and there's going to be people who find it because of you. And that's why it's so important to share what you love, because the next in line is right around the corner.
This leads me to one last wonderful question. Because with all these experiences, with all these years, what has been your favorite moment? And please don't say it's the pie on Nordic FurCon.
I mean, that's that tops the cake there. But in all honesty, because I have thought about this a lot. It's like, what is your favorite moments? And I've been in the fandom so long. It's like, oh my gosh, it's genuinely hard to, oh, I met this person. Oh, I hugged that person. It's like, what can it possibly be? And honestly, I have talked to a lot of people who have started in the fandom, who have just found it. I've talked to people who, I've met at cons, and they weren't the people being social. They were the people kind of on the side being like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I fit in here. I don't know if I belong here. But something isn't here yet. And I spend a lot of my cons, because I typically work behind the scenes. I volunteer at cons a lot, and I make it my goal to stop and try to talk to these people if I happen to spot it. And I've done that for years and years and years. And this includes online, just people who like something is missing. And it's not immediate gratification, because it can't be. That's not how it works. Yeah. But there have been my favorite moments are, in years later, I will get a message from them, or maybe it's a Sona that I don't even recognize. I'm like, I don't know you, and they're like, hey, just to let you know, I was this person at this event 15 years ago, and you stopped and talked to me, and you helped me take the next step, and I needed it at that time. Thank you.
Aww.
And I've had a good handful of moments like that, and those always jump out at me, because it's like, at the time I was busy and I was stressed and blah blah blah, and then years and years and later, it's like, you know what, that was really worth it, and I'm glad I did, because I feel so good about the fandom when someone else can find a home in it, and that feels really good.
This is like a perfect ending to a wonderful interview. And I would like to thank you very much for your time. And
thank you. This was wonderful.
Yes, and I hope to see you at a future Nordic FurCon. or perhaps another future convention, because boy, the time we had together was amazing.
It was fantastic. I'm honestly, I mean, since we're in the call, I can say that I was so honored to meet you and spend the time that I got to. So thank you directly for, you know, everything that you offered, your hospitality. You're wonderful, and the things that you do here and in the fandom and even with the channel here are this is what I always feel the fandom needs more of, and genuinely thank you for doing what you do.
Well, you stayed till the very end, and as promised, we are raffling 2 winners for our limited edition Dog Bomb charity cards by Royalty Card Game. So here we go! Our first winner is Roemer Jonker. Our second winner is Joel Chekalope. Please do contact me through the feedback form or through my socials before the next video of Digging Up Positivity goes live, so we can verify your identity and make sure the card is being sent to you. Thank you all for responding, and stay awesome. Speaking of awesome people, the following people took that extra mile by supporting me through the following means. On Patreon we have Cosmic with a K, Ishnula, Els Dekkers, Carl Bijveld, Lucas Batenhorst, Manik Nux, Taros Blackburn, Tantru McNally, The Creative Club, Score Chaser, Stardosphere, Vicky Dickinson and William Foxwolf. And our YouTube channel members Buff Media, Ayurek Burnison, Joey and Mavi, Longtooth, Rex the Warhorse and Whiffer. And of course our Twitch subscribers Ari1984, Binky Bundurgan, Damien 2025K, Drake Husky, Falconio, Flopmood, Heinau Lizard, Hanzane Jansen, I Love Toasters, Inemini62, Jake RG, Lady Lian, Light Nympha, Longtooth, Martin W, Rain Horse, and Svex the Mischievous Fox, Tani Draws and Truck the Polar Bear. The next episode of Digging Up Positivity will be going live at July the 4th with plenty of news from one of our most awesome conventions in the Southern Hemisphere, where I am cordially invited, Brazil Fur Fest. So I hope to see you there. Let's share some memories, stay awesome and all the hugs.